and welcome to the start of another reading vlog in which I try and read all of my own TBR. And it's a new week, so I'm going to go over my TBR stats with you guys again, just so you guys are caught up and know where I'm standing with my TBR. So in total, my TBR is at 332 books, and breaking that down by the format, I have 118 ebooks, 112 audiobooks, and 102 physical books. So quite a lot, but I do have a very big plan for this week. So in the past two vlogs, I have been talking about doing a try a chapter challenge where I try a chapter of all of my owned ebooks. And this is just because I have 118 ebooks, but also because the majority of these ebooks are ones that I've had for over 5 years. And I've just been collecting them if they go free on Kindle, or also when I had NetGalley and something would just be read now, I would just click it and download it to my Kindle. So I have so many books that I don't know if I'm interested in, or that I know that I'm not interested in anymore. But since I own all of these ebooks, I do want to give all of them a try, and so I figured I would do a try a chapter challenge. So since this is the last week at my current store, I am not scheduled as many days as I usually am. So I actually have 5 days off from work, and one of those days is a half day actually. So I have quite a bit of time to dedicate to this project, and I'm going to take you guys along on this journey with me of reading all of these chapters. So this week I don't necessarily plan on finishing books, but I do plan on DNFing a bunch and getting a bunch off my TBR and just making a really big dent in my owned ebooks TBR. So those are the plans for this week. I am currently reading a couple of books, so I will go ahead and talk to you guys about those. The first one is Jane Eyre. I am still reading this one. I have not made any progress since I first picked it up. I'm still only on chapter 3. No progress has been made on this, but I am hoping to maybe get some progress made in this book. I don't really know. I just haven't been in the mood to read a classic, which isn't really surprising to me. Classics aren't my go-to genre, but I do really want to read this one, and I do have a challenge this year to read a bunch of classics, and again, it's on my physical TBR, so I definitely need to get to it. But yeah, we will see if any progress on this one gets made, but I figured I would still mention it because I am technically still reading it. I am also reading Well Actually, which is one of my ebooks that I have read the first chapter of. I'm about 31% through this one. I have talked about this one before. Mazey Eddings is my all-time favorite author, and this is her newest book, and I'm loving it so far. It's really great. I've just been focusing a little bit on other things at the moment, which is why I have not finished it or really made extreme progress through it, I guess. But yeah, I am still reading it, and if I finish any books this week, this one would probably be it. But again, I have that project that I'm going to be doing, so we will see. And the audiobook that I'm currently reading, I'm 61% through, and that is The Darkened Light of Faith. And this is a really great audiobook, and I do believe this was part of Libra FM's free audiobook collection. I believe that's where I found this one at, and it's just a really great book so far. I don't really know if I'll have much time to listen to an audiobook this week, but yeah, I am currently reading it. So that's the plan for this week. That's what I'm currently reading, and I will update you when something happens, which will probably be soon because I'm going to get started with reading all of those first chapters. Hello, it is a few hours later. I have literally spent the entirety of the day sitting here reading first chapters of all of these books, and between that, I've also been doing homework. I've been trying to switch between the two so that I don't get bored of either of them. But I have read 33 of the 118 books, so I'm making quite a bit of progress. For the ones that I am continuing, I'm continuing with 13 of them and then DNFing 20 of them, which I feel is a good split. I knew that a lot of these books I wasn't interested in, and I knew that I was going to be DNFing a lot of them, which is kind of the whole purpose of this project. but I'm also happy that it is fairly even and that there are a bunch of these books that I am still interested in, that I want to continue, and that from reading the first chapter, I have even more of a renewed interest in reading them. That's my feeling so far. It does make me very excited to get to quite a few of these ebooks, or to maybe see if my library has like the physical copy or the audiobook copy, just because I'm not the biggest fan of reading ebooks. I feel like for these books that I am like excited again about reading, I would like to try and get it in a different format so that I actually read them. And yeah, I just wanted to come here and give a little update of how this project is going so far. Obviously, I'm going to have a whole dedicated video to this project in which I go through every single one of these books individually. So if you're interested in knowing which books I want to continue in DNF, look out for that video. But yeah, I'm making great progress so far. My goal for today was to get through 59 of them, because that would be exactly half. That way I can read the other half of the books tomorrow, and then my main last day off that like I don't really have any plans for, I would like to film then. So that's my goals. But I just want to come on here and give a little update. My next update will probably not be till tomorrow, but yeah, that's my progress that I've made so far, and I will see you in the next clip. Hello, so I did not update you the next day like I said I was going to. I pretty much spent that entire day doing homework. I did my taxes and reading all of the first chapters of all of these ebooks. So I have finished reading all the first chapters, and so I wanted to sort of give you those ending numbers. I'm honestly very happy with it. So I ended up DNFing 77 of the 118 books, which is 65% of the ebooks that I had. So 65% of these ebooks were ones I didn't want to continue, I had no interest in, and getting 77 books off of my TBR just feels so good. And then 41 of those books are ones that I am interested in, I do want to read, and that also makes me happy. It makes me happy to have books on my TBR that I actually want to read, and reading the first chapter just got me very excited to actually get to those books. So overall, I would say this whole experiment project thing was very successful. But from DNFing those 77 books, my TBR went down to 255. So for my total TBR, 255, I'm finally under 300, which feels so good. 255 seems so much more doable to me because I read so many books. 300 was never an amount of books that I would ever be able to read in a year. That's way too much. I know that I read a lot, but I do not read 300 books in a year as much as I would hope or like to, but 255 seems more doable because if I do read like 150 books, then I have 100 books spread out across multiple formats that I would still have on my TBR, which seems like a very good number to me for the amount of books that I get in versus the amount of books that I read. It makes me a lot happier, a lot less stressed when looking at my TBR, and that is the whole reason I gave myself this goal for the year of reading down my TBR. So yeah, I just want to give you that little update that I am very proud of myself. I finally finished that. I've been putting it off for a while, and since I had these days off from work, I figured I might as well make use of them, and I'm very happy with how it went. So yeah. But very, very happy that my TBR is finally under 300. And I have a renewed interest in a bunch of books, which makes me very excited. But yeah, I am now going to get ready to leave. I have my nail appointment today, so I will be doing that. And then hopefully when I get home, I will film that video. It is going to definitely be a long one because I'm going to be mentioning all 118 ebooks that I read, so that one's definitely going to take some time, but it is one that I am very excited to film and talk to you all about. But yeah, I will see you all in the next clip. I am out of my nail appointment and I got a very light sparkly purple. I think it's showing up like more whitish, but it is a very light purple. And yeah, I wanted to show those off. But also they were doing a drawing for like a prize, and I won one of the biggest prizes, which was 20% off, which was very nice. I do like to save money because getting my nails done is my most expensive fun purchase that I do a couple times a month, so that was nice. But I'm very happy with them. I love them. It's very like light and fun, especially since today's Valentine's Day. I didn't really like want to get something too Valentine's Day for like the rest of the month, so I felt like a very nice light sparkly purple was like a similar cutesy little vibe, but not Valentine's Day, I guess. But yes, I just wanted to show those off, and I will now be going home and probably filming that eBooks video. So yep. So I have filmed my eBooks video that took over an hour to film. It's definitely going to be a long one to edit, but I'm very, very proud of myself for doing this whole project. But when I got home, I got book mail, and that is Cushiel Scion, and so I wanted to show this to you guys. It is adding one to my TBR, so I believe my TBR is at 256 now. My physical books, I believe, is at 103. But yes, this is a fantasy, I believe, like maybe a fantasy romance series. I know with this whole Cushiel's like series, it's a bunch of different series, but I believe I've always heard people talk about the relationships in them. I'm not sure if it's romantic relationships or not, but I've heard a lot of good things about these books, and this is the first in one of the separate series. I need to look up a whole guide of what order these books need to be read in, because I do know this is number 1, but I'm not sure if the other series needs to be read before this one. But I am glad that the publishers sent me a copy of this one, because it is one that I have been very interested in giving a try. So yes, I figured I would come on here, give a little update about finishing the video, getting this book, and yeah, I am probably going to do a little bit of homework and then start editing that video. But those are the plans, that's what's happening, that's what's going on. And yeah, I will see you all in the next clip. Another week is finished, so let me tell you the stats for this week and how I did with managing to read down my 300 plus TBR. So this week was a really great week. I did that eBooks challenge, which hopefully that video will be out before this one. If it is, I will link it below. If not, it is probably going to be out in a couple of days. But I DNF'd 77 ebooks, which is absolutely crazy to me, and it made a lot of progress towards reading down my TBR, and I am finally below 300 books, which feels so great. So let me give you those new numbers that I'm at for the end of this week. So my total is 256 books, which is such a great feeling to be at. I do not have to see the number 300 anymore, and this is definitely the most progress I will ever make in 1 week, which I'm going to keep this feeling of goodness as long as it will last. So breaking the numbers down by format, I have 41 ebooks left on my TBR, which of course is down by 76. Yes, I did DNF 77 books this week. However, this is down 76 from the beginning of the year. I did get a couple ebooks since I've begun this challenge, so that's why this number is at 76 and not 77. My audiobooks TBR is at 112, which is down by 6 from the beginning of the year. And my physical TBR is at 103, which is down by 3 from the beginning of the year. So this week I did get 2 books in. I showed you one, and the other one was another Libra FM influencer review copy. And the reason I got this one this week instead of last week is because the audio files weren't ready for it, but I did add that one to my collection this week. And then I did only read one book this week, which is still really good, but it's not my usual number, and that's just because I was reading the first chapter of all those ebooks. But the book I did complete is The Darkened Light of Faith, and this was a really solid book. I do wish I had read it physically instead of on audio. This is one I would have liked to have annotated and like reread some of the passages, but I did end up giving this one 3.5 stars. It was very good and one I would like to come back to sometime in the future. So that is the little wrap up for this week. I don't really have too many plans for next week since I will be starting at the new store, and I don't really know how my schedule is going to look with reading, but yeah, I am still reading Jane Eyre. I am now 50 pages into it, so I did make some progress this week on that, and then I'm about 70% of the way through Well Actually, so I'm also making progress through that one. Well Actually is definitely one that I will be finishing in the upcoming week, but Jane Eyre is definitely going to be one I will slowly be making my way through, and I don't expect to finish that one next week. As for my audiobook, I think I'm going to start Opinions, and we will see if I manage to finish that one this week. Hopefully I will, but we shall see. But that is it for this week's vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment whatever you feel like commenting, and I will see you all next week for a new weekly reading vlog.